grow on people. You know what I mean? I'm like herpes. You know what I mean? You start to live with me. You're like, it's not that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no one likes herpes over time.
Yeah, well, they learn to live with it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a question you wanted to ask the opposite race, but you were too nervous to ask?
I'm Turner Sparks.
And I'm Phil Duckett.
And this is Black and White Advice.
Where we answer all your questions about race, even the scary ones.
This is Black and White Advice.
You've got a question, but you're scared to ask. Just drop the boys a message, cause they're up to the task. They're rolling the dice, they ain't always nice, but you can't think twice when giving black and white advice. Black and white advice.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. My name's Turner Sparks.
Real deal, feel the thrill, back again for another week.
Behind the glass, spinning the knobs, switching the dials, we got your man, Joe Russell. Joe, how you doing on the ones and twos?
This is Barack Obama.
Don't you
That's
fucking
a
dare.
horrible
That
impression.
is so fucking, I swear, man.
I thought it was going to be a Joe Biden, as slow as that came out.
It did. It came out real fucking geriatric. What
We
got?
are in a brand new studio.
We upgraded, and we
about
told
this?
y'all the Patreon is doing well, and now we bought a whole new building. So,
I wish. The Patreon is not. I was about to, and I might do this next week, just start getting my own sponsorships on here. I've had companies reach out to me and say, we'll give you $50, but don't share it with the other two.
no fucking way. Are you?
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, I might be doing it. Because listen, the
Are they
Patreon...
racist? So don't bring the black side of Black and White Advice.
Or they said Joe too. So
Well, that's because Joe did Cosby a couple weeks ago, so they got to separate themselves.
if we don't get to $250, we're trying to get to $250 a month. It's been a while, but so go to patreon.com/black and white advice. If we don't get to Patreon,
We're $40 away. What the fuck?
we're $40 away. If we don't get there soon, I'll be doing Clorox. I'll be doing whatever they throw at me, but I'll be keeping it all. Hey, listen. It's every
So
man for himself.
DEI gets dissolved, and they don't want the brother doing ass.
Yeah, I think
this
that
shit?
was in the note. That actually
See what we got going on?
that was in the note they sent to
y'all
me.
taking food off my daughter's table.
The way it is, go to patreon.com/black and white advice, and Phil and Joe can get money too.
You know, I tell you what. Oh, buddy, I can't wait till we cut off the air. What type of bigotry is this?
I'm just the messenger.
No, I
here.
want you to do it. I would never tell you to turn down money. But see, this is the machine, though. See, I say one thing about Jews last week, and now they don't want me motherfucking doing fucking ads and shit. All
You
right.
gotta learn to keep your mouth shut about Jews.
You're the one who brought it up, bringing up all these Jewish guests and shit. The fuck I'm supposed to not say nothing?
Patreon.com/black and white advice, everybody. And May 22nd, which is next week, in terms of when we release this, not actually next
was
week,
like-
but when this comes out, it will be next
That
week.
shit fucked me up just now.
We're doing a live show at New York Comedy Club, 6 p.m. Thursday night, early show. We're going to do an after party down the street. It's me, it's Phil, it's Joe Russell. We're all doing stand-up, and then we're coming back on stage and taking your questions live.
I just found out that it's just us three. You told me that last week.
Well, there's another show that you produce, and they're not even putting you on the show. They're doing a live show. And they're not even putting you on it. So you were surprised that we have you on. I'm like, you're hosting the show. What are we, like?
You thought it was
maniacs?
going? What do you thought we were gonna have a showcase show?
Yeah, I thought that you'd bring in a few friends and stuff. I didn't know it's just us three. That's awesome.
He gets no respect out of these other shows.
And
he
exactly,
produces.
and that's why you're doing an hour up top.
Yeah.
So get ready.
He was surprised he was on the
Did
flyer.
anybody like cashews? Yeah, an hour of that.
On the show today, everybody, we got Steven Rogers. Steven Rogers, welcome to the show.
Hello.
You know him from touring with literally every comedian on planet Earth. Wait, Nate Bargatze, Brian Regan. I don't know anybody else.
Tom Papa.
Those are the only two that matter. Oh, Tom Papa, he matters too.
Every
Yeah.
comedian on earth, and he can name two.
Those are the two
And
big
that's
ones.
all I got.
Those are the only two I watch.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But no, those are major names, so I do get it. But I thought that you were gonna have a list. Oh my God!
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming, brother. So I know you've been on the road, busy
Yeah.
schedule, busy time. Let me ask you something. In your travels, what is the best and what is the worst venue you've performed at?
Whoa. Worst venue. Okay. Best has been lately. I just did Mic Drop in San Diego. It was really fun, and then I did the Lab at Zany's in Nashville. That was really great.
Wait, these are all better than these giant theaters you do, or
Well,
stadiums?
they're not
Theaters
there
suck.
to see. Theaters are my favorite, but they're not there to see me. So like,
Okay, you're
And
if we want to
headlining.
do, if we want to do
Because you could
theaters,
also give a year. You could say like The Lantern 2014.
yeah. Okay. Well,
You know
No,
what I mean?
I said in his travels.
in my
So New York doesn't count as
No,
travel?
I'm talking about
Okay.
while he's been touring. But
I'll say I did where the Sixers play in Philly. I did that
arena?
arena.
Not as good as The Lantern.
but here's the thing, and I don't know because my career's not taking that turn yet. But from what I hear, theaters are cool because yes, the people, but comedians, they're like, I will always take a club packed versus a theater.
I will say both are amazing, and it really is like if a club obviously more intimate, but a theater zero distractions from you and your material. So like a club you got the drinks, you got the food, but it is still like this more intimate thing. But in a theater, they're just on you.
There's no wait staff.
There's no
like cutting
yeah.
off your crowd
There's
work.
no check spot.
There's no checks.
No check. Yeah,
Like
no
the
checks
theater?
at the theater.
They're coming
Yeah.
around in tuxedos.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's a 2-drink
When I'm bombing
minimum.
a theater, I go, oh, they must have gotten the checks.
Wait, we got to promote your new specials out right now.
Yes.
Half of We.
Half of We on Nateland YouTube.
Nate Bargatze and Brian Regan produced it. I
Yes.
watched it earlier today.
Half of we. And
Yeah.
so I was doing some research on you.
Let's get into it.
And so half of we, I thought was an interesting name.
Yeah.
And you were talking about your girlfriend, and a lot of it, from what I hear now, you're just a single whore.
I'm a single whore.
Oh,
Now, hold
hey.
on. Were you single?
You and
that's
Phil
how you got half of
should-
one? Yeah, my girl left me.
Yeah, you guys need to go out on the town.
It's all right, my man.
You were the first comedian I saw after my proposal. Do you remember this?
No, that's probably why it didn't work.
Yeah, Phil jinxed you.
I probably was talking
You
that shit.
You almost walked in the room and they.
Oh my God! At the comedy club.
Yeah.
You proposed at a comedy
I
club?
proposed. I made her think. I'm not going to say her name.
Way to roll out the red carpet.
But my ex is a comic, and I tricked her into thinking she had a gig, and then
Wait a minute!
Oh, wow.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
So
I don't know
tricked-
if I realized
Yeah.
that was that.
Yeah. So
Phil.
I tricked her into going to the.
Phil's so astonished he stopped speaking into the mic for a second.
I didn't put the two together.
Yeah,
That's why I haven't.
Yeah. Tricked her into going to the club,
So it's New York Comedy Club.
and you went to go hang,
Yeah, I went to go hang before my spot.
and they had to shove you in the bathroom or something.
Yeah, because I was walking
because
in
they
loud
don't
as
want
shit.
anyone to be like, what's going on?
Was there a crowd? Like you paid a crowd?
No. Made it seem like there was corporate.
Ah.
So she went in, and then no one was in there except for me. And obviously, it worked out.
Do you know what would be
But-
amazing? The next time you get engaged, do the exact same thing. But everyone at the club has to pretend like it's the first time you've
Yeah,
done it.
yeah.
They go, oh, wow.
Wow.
One of my favorite stories to tell is we know a guy, I won't say his name, but back in the Lantern in like 2016, 17, it was his birthday. He was dating a girl, a waitress at the Lantern and a waitress at the Grizzly Pear at the same time.
Chico?
No.
I won't say his name, and then you start guessing.
No, he married one
do-
of them, so I won't bring it up on the air. I won't bring it up on the air. But I remember it was me. I think you were there.
I feel like I
Usama
was
Siddiqui
there.
was there.
You've
I
been
know
at
Gus
everybody's
Tate-
proposals. What's going on?
I
here?
know Gus Tate was there. I know Gus Tate was there. Joe Schaefer was there, and then we're downstairs at the Lantern, and it's the waitress from the other club from Grizzly Pear comes downstairs, and she has a birthday cake. And she goes, surprise, birthday, it's your birthday. And she has a cake, and we all sing happy birthday. And then he cuts up the cake, and we all eat it. And then she leaves. And then 20 minutes later, the waitress from the Lantern, her shift begins. She comes in with a birthday cake. And she comes down the stairs, and she goes, surprise. And we all have to pretend like the other thing didn't happen. We all sing happy birthday again, and we cut the cake. We go, you're a lucky guy.
Just completely threw the first one away. We couldn't finish it.
You guys told him which one to pick based on the cake. Wow.
So the name of your special, were you already
Half of We.
single when you dropped it? Is that how that came, or did you already know it was headed toward the end?
So you know, I realized I was broken up with right before I taped, like a couple months before.
That's the meanest thing on earth because you already have all the material. Because I watched it. A lot of the material's about being in a relationship.
He said, I know.
I'm going to take
sucks.
your side for a second.
No.
Was there a conversation that's like, if you're going to break up with me, just please at least let me record this, put it out. We'll keep up appearances. We'll pretend like
They're
we're
not
together.
the fucking president.
No,
First
yeah.
But
lady.
material-wise,
Keep up appearances?
I would be furious.
Do you think a comedian's going to keep up appearances? I fucking hate it here. We're out.
For the
She's
material.
No, she's a good person.
She's a sweetheart. I
She's
will
a
vouch for
wonderful
that.
person.
I will vouch for that.
But obviously, you know, the right thing to do. She did, you know, as far as breakups go, she did a great job, I guess. And
Steven, we got
no, you know, but she was like, yeah, I am sorry that it is before you're taping.
Let's rip this scab off. Let's talk.
Yeah.
No.
Were you
know,
devastated?
I was horribly devastated.
And did you consider not fucking doing the special?
No.
I wondered that same thing. Would you be like, well, this material, or are you like, let's just record it now and get it out of here?
Well, obviously you both watched it and liked it a lot. So.
Wait, do you talk about that part in it? Because I
it's in
watched
there.
the first 15, I'll be honest, and then I
Yeah.
watched the last like 5.
Oh, well then
And then
you
I saw you jump in the car with your
You
parents.
saw the reveal then.
Then I watched the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, you watched the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So in the special, I do the whole special as if we're still engaged. And then I do what would have been the closer. And I go, you guys are really great. Do you guys mind if I try something new? And then I take out a slip of paper and I go, my fiance and I just broke up. And then the crowd is like, what the hell? And then I do a couple of jokes about being left. And then I call it a night.
I like that.
Ready? Let me tell you something.
That's the only way to do it.
It was the only way to do it because I don't like lying on stage. I don't like pretending a thing is happening that's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to get rid of that material before it was recorded. So I was like, well, this is the most honest way I can do it.
Imagine if you just would have put out a prop gun and put it in your mouth.
The Joker.
I go, and now for my closer, and I have pills. No one knows they're Smarties. I'm just
Oh, God.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I should have watched the last 5.
You're fine.
I regret now.
You're comedians. I don't expect you to watch my special.
How did you even think of that to get out of it that way?
Look, a breakup's hard enough as it is, and then I had a bunch of dates booked to run this thing, so Brian and Nate are producing it. I'm not gonna go, hey guys.
Thanks for
Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
So I was like, the one thing I like about comedy, and you guys know, is like when you have a problem with your act, the only way around it is new jokes.
Yeah.
You know. So I was like, I'll go on the road. I'll run the special. I didn't do any of the jokes about being engaged, but that meant I had to fill the time with other stuff. Yeah. So I was like, and obviously I write every day, and all I could write about was what I was going through.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I think the audience will be good. I'll show that I'm good at stand-up because most people don't know who I am. So I'm like showing that I'm good enough to have their attention. And then I'm like, hey, I'm going through this thing. Are you guys cool with me trying new jokes? And most crowds are really game for that once they've seen that you're good.
Yeah, they didn't waste their money. Or
right. So then I would do it, and I would try all these broken up. And I had like...
Phil's taking notes, by the way.
I had like 7 minutes, and you'd find some are too dark. You look, but
it makes the crowd sad.
Yeah, and I'd had to really figure out how to tell. And now it's in my new act, but like a bunch of stuff about being left and what that's like, and also trying to make sure that it wasn't aimed at the other person as the bad guy because they're not a bad person.
Right.
So it's just trying to figure out.
And that's class on you because I'm like, I don't care how the gun's aimed.
Fuck
it.
Yeah.
But you're right though. And the thing is, I feel the same way about my ex. Like she's a great person.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll leave it at that. But
yeah.
I get it.
It can be multiple things. You can be hurt, but it doesn't.
But
change
try not
who
to be
they are.
malicious and make them look crazy.
Yeah. So I tried to make sure everything was pointed at me when I did jokes about it, and then I kind of noticed that was how I was ending the show, and I was like, this might be a good ending. to the special. Because what I was originally going to do was do the whole special and go, by the way, my fiance and I broke up, and I was just going to go to black.
Oh.
And
Like the Sopranos ending?
Like the Sopranos
they
ending.
would have hated you for
Yes,
that.
nobody would have liked that. And then we kind of came up with this idea, and someone, I have a joke. I go, my parents are picking me up, so I have to make this quick. And my parents came to the taping, so we had the idea of after the show, I'd walk out the back door, and they'd be waiting in a van, and I drive off with them. So it ended up being like a wonderful distraction, considering how much I was going through it emotionally. I was like, I'll use all my energy on this special.
When you say we came up with it, does that mean you just talking about yourself, or was like how involved were like Regan and Bargatze?
I mean, I was on the road with Regan a lot.
Yeah.
When leading up to it. I mean, Regan, Nate, and Tom emotionally helped me a lot during this time, and then they watch my set, and if they had ideas, I think I was out with Regan, and a friend of the tour managers was like, I really like that parents picking you up thing, and we were all riffing after a show, and we were like, what if that's how it ends, is I get picked up?
Yeah.
And
It's always good to have those mentors around you like that who've
very
been in
blessed.
the game a long time. They
Yeah.
can kind of see past the bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like,
and also those people.
yeah, I'm very fortunate.
What do you mean by that comment, those people?
I mean, they're three of the best for like clean comedy.
I don't know what
Are you
you'll
saying that because
say.
they're white?
I mean, what? I mean, white people.
I don't know what you're capable of.
Who do you have, Phil? Who are your mentors?
Mentors? I don't have any. I'm a lone wolf.
You got none?
Yeah.
There's no one older than you that's been helping you along the way?
I mean, they've helped me some, but I don't have anybody like I can just call.
Yeah.
You know, like Ricky, I would consider him a mentor, even though we're close to the same age. He's been doing comedy
Ricky
a lot longer.
Velez.
Yeah, he's doing it a lot longer than me.
Yeah.
So, but again, he doesn't really like watch my set. So it's more so just talking about the business and this business side of the
That's
industry.
still
and stuff. Right,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
huge.
But like as far as like jokes and stuff, Greer Barnes has really helped. He earlier on when I first got
great.
here, and I was opening for Godfrey, he'd see some of it, and he'd be like, "You got to do this, switch this up." And Godfrey the same. But it's been a long time, man. Like I'd love like an older comedian who's like successful to like break down some shit. But I don't really have that. You know me, I'm not gonna be like, "Hey man, would you watch my set?" That's gay.
It has to come around
Yeah,
like
naturally. It's got to be organic.
right?
Yeah,
Come
you
on,
can't be like, hey, man, watch this, man. I got like that's because if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not watching this shit. You know what I mean? But like, so early on, they gave me a couple. You know who's really been influential? And I don't see him out, but Sean Patton.
Oh
is
my
one
God.
of the greatest people I've
I
ever
love
met.
Sean.
And like even before.
he kills harder than anybody.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even before I started to get some momentum in this game, when I first moved here, and even the Lantern wasn't booking me, I used to hang out at the old stand on 3rd Ave.
I met him there one night.
And that's how I met him.
Yeah.
And so I would just talk to him because he's from Louisiana. I went to college in Louisiana. So we just started talking. And he gave me a lot of good gems. And to this day, he gave me some of the greatest advice ever a comedian's ever. Because I remember asking him, I was like, he asked me, he was like, what do you think the biggest part about being a comedian is? Like the most important thing. And of course, I was like, be funny. And he just literally laughed in my face. He said, I wish. He was
He's like the funniest.
yeah, he was like, I wish that was it. He was like, don't be an asshole. He was like, that is the greatest. He's like, only advice I know to tell you. He's like, if people
think-
like you, you'll get booked.
Don't you think
he
being
said,
funny is equal to that though?
No, he
If
said,
you're not funny and you're
be-
super nice.
He said,
it still
being
doesn't
funny
help.
is a plus. He said, because as you get going in this, you'll find you'll do a lot of big time shows where you'll look at the line and be like, how the fuck is this person on this show? He said,
Yeah.
because they're not an asshole. People like them. They know the producer. They're likable. He said, if you're funny, you'll get booked again. But just to get to a certain room, just don't be an asshole. He said, if people like you, you'll get opportunity. He said, then if you're funny on top of that, your career will continue to grow. And honestly, he's not lying. I'm very likable in most circles. You know, and I think that's helped me. And then I do well once I'm on stage. But, I mean, I've rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in this journey. People think I'm arrogant, cocky, and I talk shit like I'm the best. And it's held me back from some places. But once I'm in and they start to like me, because I grow on people. You know what I mean? I'm like herpes. You know what I mean? You start to live with me. You're like, it's not that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no one likes herpes over time.
Yeah, well, they learn to live with it.
Phil's like, you might not like me, but you'll learn.
But
to
I'm
live
here.
With me.
You know? I'm here.
I'm coming back.
That's great.
And so it is. You know what I mean? Once you get on stage and they see you're funny, they'll invite you back. But
Every time the season changes, I'll be there, baby.
That's great.
Yeah, so no, I mean, I totally agree with that. Don't be an asshole. It's literally like the golden rule in life, but in comedy, it really does.
I think they're equal, and you need both.
Turner, it can't be the type, because there are so many unfunny people that are successful in stand-up comedy, like genuinely unfunny,
but genuinely successful.
Making money is success. I don't know what you call it, but I tell you what,
it's true.
They make a lot more money than I'm making in stand-up, and they are, and not trying to say I'm the shit, but I'm telling you, you couldn't pay me to watch 5 minutes of their material, and they are doing $5,000 a fucking show. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, so I don't know. What is success? To me, that's successful. I told him I'm selling everything but pussy and popcorn to make it in this city. I am fighting for my fucking life. He's
drowning in popcorn.
Fighting for my fucking life. And I do well when I'm on stage, but I don't know the business side. I have no social media presence. And that's literally what this game is. The comedy has changed. Nobody's going to come save you. Nobody's going to come get you. There's no executive from NBC sitting in the back smoking a cigar like, I'm going to make you a star. That doesn't happen anymore. You got to fucking be somebody on social media, and then they come and take your money and make you bigger. But they all want to cut. But you got to make your own. That's where we're at now. It's like funny is so small percentage of it, because if you learn how to beat the algorithm, you're in.
I think if you can go into a room and kill for an hour, you can have a career in comedy.
Buddy, I'll kill for an hour. And do I have a career?
But
yes.
You can.
Yeah, but
You know what I
I have a career, but again, I have like 3 other jobs as well. Stand-up should just be my only form of income, but because I don't have the social media thing and I don't have the numbers, all they care about is getting fill out seats.
Do you say, when you're talking about comics you really like, he should be famous or she should be famous?
All the Mike Britt, number one, my all-time favorite.
Mike Britt is amazing.
He is, to this day, watching him, even when I'm hosting, I'm like, I hate to be the person going after him.
Mike Britt
is that
fantastic.
Big. And the thing is, and he has a career. He's on Righteous General. He should be a household name.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
I agree. Funny as fuck.
So funny.
Does not put any clips. He's like, man, I ain't got time for that shit.
And that's unfortunate because.
But he does work as a comedian, doesn't he, or not?
He doesn't travel. He doesn't hit the road. He doesn't tour.
Does he not?
You think
he has other jobs?
I talk to him all the time. He doesn't have a job because he does so much extra. He does commercials. You know what I mean?
He's doing fine. I'm not saying you can be rich. I'm saying you can make like a middle class income as a comedian.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm not saying be a famous person without clips or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're putting that on.
Yeah, I didn't realize when he said success, I'm thinking the top.
Yeah.
But no, you could make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
And in my estimation, you're cheating the system. If you don't have to go into a day job every day and you're making $100,000 a year by telling jokes.
And if you were in any other city
this
but
is the
New
first
York.
thing I did today.
Yes. This is my point.
And if you were in any other city, 100,000, you'd be fine. 100,000 in this city, you're like, well, I guess we can get a 2-bedroom, hopefully.
That covers 6 months rent.
You're pushing it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy, though.
Large 1-bedroom.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Should we get to our questions?
I'm excited.
All right. We got your black and white advice questions and answers coming up after the break. Hey, you want to get bonus content, early episodes, and have your questions answered on the show?
Well, then subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/blackandwhiteadvice and subscribe right now.
Do it, and we'll give you a shout out on a future episode.
And I might call you the N-word.
All right, we're back. First question comes to us from Sam Michael, our Patreon subscriber. Patreon subscribers always get to the front of the line to ask questions. Patreon.com/blackandwhiteadvice. Go there. Help us out. Sam Michael in Bangkok says, this is a good one. He's written it a few times. He's a white guy, lives in Bangkok, China. I used to know him Bangkok, Thailand. I used to know him when we lived in China.
Used to buy lady boys.
He says, the comedian Dwayne Perkins just came to Bangkok and I went to see him. Do you guys know Dwayne?
Yeah.
Speaking of hilarious. Fantastic.
Dwayne Perkins?
Yeah. Los Angeles, based out of LA, from New York originally, black comedian, late 40s.
I think I've heard of him.
Super funny. He goes, the comedian Dwayne Perkins just came to Bangkok and I went to see him. I think I chatted with him years ago in China when you guys brought him out here. This leads to a question for the show. When I saw him in Bangkok, I wanted to mention to him that I thought we met in China, but I was worried I might have the names mixed up and it would be one of those we all look alike moments. So I didn't say anything. If it had been a white guy, I would have been more willing to take a chance and ask if he had been to China before. But because of the race thing, I didn't. Is that common? Is that common, or is that only white people who worry about stuff like that?
That literally just happened to me 45 minutes
Did
ago.
it?
I text y'all. I was like, I'm walking behind this white dude that I think is Steven Rogers. I said, but I can't really be sure. and nobody was like, well, why don't you ask him? I was like, nah. And then Joe was like, well, that's racist. I was like, well, he has shades on, so I can't really tell. And the thing is, as a brother, it's embarrassing when it's the person of your same color. You're like, what up, boy? And it's not the person. You're like, oh,
That
fuck.
happens?
Yeah.
All the time. All the time.
Holy hell.
From the side profile, you'll think it's your boy. Like, I remember one time, I swear to God, it was just God's grace. I didn't get my ass beat. But I thought it was my homeboy who has a bald head like me. I was like, Michael Jordan.
And it was a random guy?
Random black dude. He was like, what the fuck? I was like, dog. I said, bro, I wouldn't even disrespect you like that.
He doesn't even know
I
you.
was like, no, I didn't. I've
You
never
know
seen
I
him.
wouldn't disrespect you.
But
She's like,
from
I've
the
never met you in my life.
The cranium looked the same as the homie. You know what I mean? So I really just came up and gave him to Michael Jordan, the palm.
The cranium's the same as
When
my
I moved to
homie.
New York, do you guys know Richie Redding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we might have to put a picture of him up or something, but I had multiple black people be like, Richie! And then
Really?
I
Yeah.
don't see it.
I don't
Of
either.
course. And I never met Richie Redding, so I'm like, I don't know. I was like, oh, finally. It got to the point where the second they would do it, I'd be like, oh, I know I look like that guy. I haven't met him yet, but everyone tells me I look like that guy. I didn't put it together till it was like only black people doing this until years later I finally met Richie, and I'm like, I don't think I look like you at all. And he goes, dude.
Look or act.
Not only this, he goes, people tell me I look like you too.
Oh.
It's like, he goes, that has happened to me. People are like, do you know Turner Sparks? Are you guys related? But then we literally don't look alike.
You don't look alike.
No, like
right?
not even like a hair.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
I'm trying to find
That is a level
thing.
of
It was-
racism I aspire to.
There was an era where Richie and I were like joking, like, oh, we're brothers. Like, because we.
Didn't he have a mohawk?
Yeah.
This
and
was
then he had a
pre all
mullet.
that.
And then he had a mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mullet, Richie. Yeah.
I heard he grew it just to stop being compared to you.
I'd rather look like
That's
Joe
wild.
Dirt.
I know of two, I'll say it off there, two comics that people kept getting them mistaken for each other, and they had the same, like, they did kind of look alike, and one of them cut their hair just to stop getting the comparison.
Oh.
Because
they were offended by the comparison?
well, one of them was got slammed in a post
like canceled in some way or something?
not canceled, but just like, I don't like this. It was just like a going after someone for I don't know what reason.
Okay.
And this other comic was getting flack on that guy's name.
I'm
So
thinking
he-
of two sets of comedians that look alike. Like that I always. One
Who are you
one
thinking of?
set is I always confuse Graham K and
Okay.
the dude from The Daily Show.
Yes, me
Whoa!
too. Me too.
What
Me
was
too.
it? I mean, every time I see him, he
Yeah,
was like Phil.
what is that guy's name?
Graham
Michael
K.
Costa?
And
Yes.
Michael Costa and Graham K. I always confuse them. Like to the point where I'm like, "What up, Mike?" And he was like, "Phil." And
No.
I'm like, "Fuck."
Before
Because I know both of them. So I'm like,
Graham is so funny to. I picture him like stepping you down.
yeah.
their
Hey.
personalities are extremely
it's
different.
extremely
Yeah.
different, but just off looks, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very similar. And then the other
Interesting.
one,
I used to mix
the
them
other
up.
one I always fuck up is Peter Ravello and
Kevin Hurley.
Yes. Oh, when I met Kevin Hurley, I went, "Yo, dude, what's up? Good to
bro.
see you again."
I mean, fuck it up every time, and that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, it's weird how much y'all look alike.
Yeah.
So when I met Kevin, I was clearly too familiar with this guy I'd never met before, and he said it to me. He goes, "You think I'm Peter Ravello, don't you?" I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm not."
I've been
And I
in the-
went, "Yes, you are."
I've been in the
I'm
room.
pretty sure you are.
I've been in the room. I felt for both of them in this moment. I was in the room once where someone went to Kevin. So Peter, how's the special going or something?
Yeah.
Or they go, "Hey, how's the special going?" And Kevin was on his phone and he goes, "I'm not Peter Ravello."
Maybe that was me. Maybe that was all the same time.
It wasn't you. I don't remember who it was, but I remember being like, just like the air was thick. I just felt
Well, so
like,
when
oh
I
my
said
God.
hi to him, he said it with that exact, like, just right away. I'm not Peter Ravello, and I didn't even say Peter.
Like, but they have two doppelgangers in the same field like that.
Yeah.
It's like crazy because I'm like, no, I'm not the only one. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, and I mess it up Even to this day, sometimes I
People
like,
keep coming up to
double
me and
check.
going, "Hey, earthquake," and I'm like, "Again with this."
That was the other person you opened for. I couldn't think of his name.
I would love to.
Brian Regan, Nate Bargatze,
I
and
would love to work
Earthquake.
with Earthquake just to watch him.
Tom Papa. I don't mind when it's because this used to happen in China a lot. People would just say you look like somebody that you look nothing like.
No.
Because Chinese people don't see a lot of white people, so they just
Sure.
think everybody looks like.
So they'll just point at you and say another person.
Kids would
No.
always say Spider-Man, just straight up.
Let me.
Spider-Man.
You want me to? I can see.
But
it.
then
You
adults,
got a Peter Parker
You do
vibe.
which
have a
is
Peter
fine.
Parker
I didn't
vibe.
mind
Yeah.
that, but then adults would say Mr. Bean, which I didn't enjoy.
That's
I
not
also
fun.
could see that
I
as
did
well.
not- I didn't
actually.
like
That's
Mr.
not
I
Bean.
could see that as well.
Especially when the other one you're getting is
A
Spider-Man.
superhero.
Yeah, bro. You know who fucking I get confused with all the
Mr.
time?
Bean didn't even talk.
I don't even get confused off
Hello?
looks. I get confused off name. People,
I mean, that's so funny how broad the spectrum is.
Mr.
He's
Bean.
an old man, who has like a mole on his face and doesn't speak. How do I look like him?
It's the haircut and the ears.
I know what it is. Why are you telling me what it is? I know what it
you
is.
act like you
Well,
couldn't
you
see
asked.
it.
You
You act like you
asked.
couldn't see it,
That
and
was
I'm like, I
rhetorical
get it.
question.
I
Don't
get
ever
it.
do a rhetorical. No one follows rhetorical rules.
Yeah, I was like, you really want to know? No, I get confused with Phil Hunt. We look nothing alike.
no, the only thing you
don't
have
look
in
like
common
Phil
is your
Hunt.
name.
It's black and we're Phil. No, to the point. No, it's not like just a confusion. People are like, oh, I saw you at Caroline's. I saw you, and I'm like, I remember.
This was like Richie Redding with
Phil
me.
Hunt, but the thing is, Phil Hunt hit me up one day. He was like, so I just got booked for this show, $200, because they saw me at New York Comedy Club. I
And it
said,
was you?
Look, I said, what? He was like, yeah, and then he said it didn't hit me until I accepted. He was like, Phil Duckett. I said, you taking money from me now?
Did you guys do the switcheroo?
No, I said, do it. I said, if they don't know the difference between Phil Duckett and Phil Hunt, like they're that.
I
said,
agree.
Look, I said, let them have it. I said, and you better fucking destroy.
As me.
Yeah, if I'm fucking associated. I was like,
You give him your
better kill it.
material?
Yeah, no, my God, no. But I was so, and the thing is, it's happened multiple. That was the only time money's been involved. But people all the time, they're like, I just saw you with Nico. I'm like, that's Phil Hunt, bro.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is crazy.
You guys
He's
look nothing
5'6". I'm 6'2". Nothing alike other than black. He's
Yeah.
not even bald.
Next question.
Yeah.
Did we answer his question?
Oh yeah. Well, the question was, is it common? I guess because the question
common,
was,
yeah.
is it a race
White
thing?
people,
Like,
black people, anybody.
do
can
only
do it.
Yeah.
do only white people worry about this, or everyone does? I think
Yeah,
everyone does.
everybody worries.
I don't think Chinese people worry about it.
they've
they
never
just
seen
they just
anybody
straight
else.
up tell you look like whatever, Mr. Bean.
I wonder if they have a hard time deciphering like we do with them.
No, they don't.
Wait, what?
Like Asians, how we're like, I don't know.
I've never.
Wait,
had,
is your question different kinds of Asians, or is it different people, like human beings?
Yeah, like when they're in China, do they like, oh, that's my homegirl? Like, nah, that's not her. Do they all look different to them?
I don't know, but I will say when I was living out there, there was at one point there was like a guy on the loose who was like a killer on the loose.
And it was hard to find him.
No, they had a sketch of him all over the city. Do it close up on Steven
911
Rogers as I tell this story.
Does it look like me?
It looked like everyone.
That's what I'm saying. They got so bad. I was like, it's him. It's him. Wait a minute.
I was doing that on stage out there. I was like, by the way, I saw that killer this morning. He was working at 7-Eleven.
He had
also-
like 14 jobs. He
Yeah,
was a
he
bus
was
driver. He was the traffic
and
cop.
it killed. They loved it. It worked.
That's
so,
great.
Yeah. No, I did find that obviously wherever you live, whatever type of person you're around, you get used to deciphering the differences in that race or whatever, And then when I moved back to the U.S., I remember for like the first 6
You
months,
lost your powers.
I thought I would see celebrities all over the place, like white American celebrities or black American
Oh, white
celebrities.
people look the same to you.
Yeah. And
I've had the most I've
wasn't-
had that with is white people.
Yeah.
I've been in China for 12 years. I just wasn't used to seeing this amount of white people or black people. So I would regularly be like, oh my gosh, that's like, Ted Lasso
That's
or whoever.
DMX.
And then it just
Brian
wasn't.
Gumble.
Yeah, it was Phil. All right,
Wow.
next question. Let's see. This is from, this is a good one. Morris. I'm a white guy in Fort Worth, Texas. I was in church on Easter Sunday, and this old black man behind me kept saying, preach, every time the pastor had something to say that he liked. But, he goes, but like the pastor was preaching.
That's so funny.
He goes, I always thought preach was reserved for someone who was saying something in normal life that sounded so good they should be preaching. But if you're saying preach in a church,
That's so
That
funny.
Morris, this is the whitest question I've ever.
That was so funny.
But he is preaching. We don't need confirmation. No,
they're already preaching.
He keeps looking back at him.
Yeah,
he is.
buddy. If you would listen,
He goes, is this like if you're doing comedy and somebody's like, tell a joke after you just told a joke?
not the
Right.
same thing,
It-
Morris.
I think it
Jesus,
is.
and it's not because nobody in a comedy club says joke.
Yeah.
But why?
That's a joke.
In
Nobody
a
has
comedy club, they will say preach.
Yeah. In a comedy club, they will say
some
preach.
snacks.
It started in church. When it gets good, the sermon gets good. You're saying preach, like say that shit again, like yeah, like it's.
But aren't they already? I do get the.
Man, I can't believe I feel so much more secure with where I am racially.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's Chris Turner understands it.
I can't I can't believe that's a question that's being asked.
he looks back. He is.
No, just let him.
Literally, when you started that question, I had that ready as a bit, and then it was the real question.
Oh, the preach thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Preach
crazy.
started in church, and so then that's when it moved from the church to the street, where somebody says something good, like, "Oh, you preaching today?" Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that's
Maybe that's when I heard it.
yeah, that's you heard.
I
it.
only heard it in the
You
street.
didn't hear it from
Yeah,
the
that's
origin.
fair.
You heard it
I'm
on
more
the
a
street.
street guy.
Yeah. God Almighty, bro.
I gotta tell you, that question made me feel great. Man, that's great.
So we've just settled the debate. Who's
Yeah.
more white, me or Steve?
Well, we've never had to debate that. I'm always putting my money on you. I'm
very white.
I'm
Only room in
always putting my
America.
money on Turner, man.
I'm extremely white.
The stories he's told me, he is ground zero white.
All I am is the next crayon over.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, peach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be Peach.
Yeah.
Preach.
You didn't have to
Looking for my Mario.
preach.
Last question.
Idiot.
I just showed you how white I am by
and
doing that
just
bit.
when you had it.
Tony in North Hollywood, California. This will be the last question.
Is he white?
He's black.
Whoa.
He
Black
says,
Tony.
I want to know in North Hollywood, California. I'm black. Take that again. Tony in North Hollywood, California says, I'm black. I want to know, why do fat white guys all have beards? I know the answer to this.
Oh, yeah.
There's two answers. The one is the double chin, right?
Definitely
I
the
thought
chin.
that was the only answer.
I don't know about the second one.
The second one's, I think it's kind of like a Sir Lancelot type thing. Like they want to, there's a white guy fascination with old knights.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Knights that fight.
I mean, King Arthur, like
King
Round
Arthur.
Table.
That's
But
what I was
I
trying
don't
to think
think that's. You think like all those Hell's Angels guys are knights of the Round Table?
No, but I don't think that's what the question's about. It's about like the hipster beard guys, like the nerdy guy.
Oh, where they curl the
the
mustache.
fat guy
tips.
with the beard.
That where they look like
Oh, yeah.
1870 barbers.
The handlebar.
Yeah, the handlebar.
A
yeah.
bit of that, yeah.
That's
With
Williamsburg.
the long, that like long.
I think it's just a way for them to try to set themselves apart and be unique.
But at this point, it's not even setting
No, they're all doing it.
everyone.
Because it comes with a
I think
man
we're the
bun.
only two white guys without beards.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the double chin's probably the main thing.
I think it's that. I think it's the chin.
weak jawbone. You know, they don't have a
I will
Stop
say-
describing my face, Phil.
I love a fat guy with a beard that does where they have the sense of humor about it and they're making jokes like, oh, this is just to catch my food. Like, I like a guy that's got a sense of humor about himself. Have you ever
the
heard?
beard?
Yeah. Have you ever heard a heavier guy do that joke?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like
Pretty
it.
hacky.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I'm
some
on,
hack jokes are. I'll take it. You know.
Why do you need a joke about why you have a beard? If you have a beard, you just got a beard. I don't
That's
need to
fair.
hear.
Hey,
you
I'm not
fucking-
even talking like a comedian. I'm talking
Yeah,
like
just a regular guy.
in person bit.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I didn't really give a fuck why you had a beard. I never thought about it again. He has a beard, and I've moved on.
I've moved on.
He's standing there.
Cool, cool, man. Yeah,
I do think the black guy beard's coming back, right?
we've always rocked the beard.
Ha-
We
is
are
it?
we are fashion. So that's
Yeah.
kinda how that goes.
Preach.
Yeah, thank you.
Preach. Do you ever know the fat white guy comedian who does the, hey, let me move this out of the way so you can see me?
Yeah.
And they move the mic stand?
I've seen that quite a bit.
That's even more terrible than the food and the beard thing.
Yeah, I've seen that one a lot.
Were y'all in Atlantic City? Where was this happening?
It's or the one when they walk on stage and they go, "Give me a second, I'm exhausted."
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, it's a way to they're
Yeah.
killing immediately.
Yeah.
The second they stand up there. Oh, let me catch my breath. I just took 3 steps.
Yeah, I haven't. The mic stand one I've seen quite a bit. That might be the only one I know.
The fat guy jokes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the CPAP machine.
CPAP machine, I've seen a bunch.
Yeah. There's a whole genre of.
I mean, the best fat jokes of all time are Louis Anderson's Tonight Show on Carson. If you haven't seen it,
I don't. There's.
unbelievable. He goes, "I'll make this quick. I'm in between meals." That's his open. I mean,
That's a
and
good
he
joke.
just annihilates from there.
That's a good joke.
What's hilarious about that is he's not even fat considering today's standards.
No, yeah.
He's like everyone's
we have
dad.
600
Have you seen?
pounds
You've seen it, right?
Oh yeah.
It's so good. He has the shortest joke. Maybe I won't say it's on record or anything, but one of the shortest jokes I've ever seen. He's talking about if there were fat people in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And he goes, broad jump killed her. 4 words.
Broad jump. That is such a danger field.
Yeah.
Broad jump killed her.
You guys remember John Panette?
Oh my God.
He's maybe one of the best fat comedians. Maybe the best fat comedian.
Unbelievable.
Of all time. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
He had like a boyish voice and look, but he was like big.
Yeah.
So it was like fat jokes mixed with I look like a kid jokes.
Yes.
And with like rapid fire. Like
The amount of energy he had for a fat guy. Unbelievable. Have you seen the original, not the original, but the first Punisher movie?
Yeah.
The fat guy in that?
Yeah, that's
John
it.
Panette.
He was like early 90s in a ton of movies.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Shit.
And
yeah.
then I know he
Unbelievable
died, but-
comic. Unbelievable. He died a while ago, though. Like,
yeah,
it's
I
been
don't
a
know.
long
Like he
time.
was way too big.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's what
Do you think Bert Kreischer was famous before he started taking his shirt off, or you think he was like on my level when he started taking his shirt off? In the
You're thinking
clothes?
about taking
You're thinking
your
about
shirt
taking
off?
your pants off?
I need a thing. I just want to know if I'm going to get banned.
Dude, I will say this. If you
You'd
do
be the first Pooh Bear comic.
if you do the,
I was like, is this going to work or not?
if you do the rest of our show from now on with your shirt off, it can't hurt.
I'll do the next episode with my fucking shirt
There
off.
we go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
good I'm
can't
on
hurt.
this one.
I think Bert Kreischer. I don't know. Yeah, the shirt.
I know who your next guest is. Please take your shirt off. Please do it. Take it off in the middle of it.
Don't even say anything. Just take it off and just sit beside him.
What if we all take our shirts off?
That would do. Do you understand how uncomfortable people would be like, what the fuck is going on?
That's
here?
very funny.
All right. I think that's it. We got one more question, but we got to save it for Patreon subscribers. Last thing we do, Joe, the Muscle Russell. This is called White Lies and Dark Truths. This is our fact check segment of the show. Everything we've been saying.
Oh, my God.
Joe's been clickety clacking away back there.
Except there's no Wi-Fi in this apartment.
Oh no!
So I've been using my phone. So I've done the best I can with this. So you guys are talking about celebrity doppelgangers. Or
Yes.
people that were So I found like real famous people that are like have doppelgangers.
Okay.
So some you didn't think about were Will Ferrell and Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili
Yes.
Peppers.
Oh yeah.
Big
yeah,
one.
That's a big one.
Jamie Presley and Margot Robbie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
Not like a decade separates them in age.
Yeah.
Right?
Keira Knightley and Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Zoe Deschanel and Katy Perry are the ones that came up all the
Oh,
time.
that's a good one.
What about the guy who's the GM of the Lakers, and then he looks like Rob Lowe? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Jerry Buzz?
No, he's the owner.
I don't know.
The GM. He was like Kobe's best friend and Kobe's agent.
Oh, I forgot.
Do you know what I'm talking about? If there's pictures of him, there's this dude. He looks like Rob
Just
Lowe. He
put
just
up two
traded for
pictures of
Luka.
Rob Lowe.
He just scammed that Dallas guy on the
shit, okay. That
whatever
guy.
his name is. Yeah.
Rob Pelinka.
Rob Pelinka.
They're both named Rob?
Yeah, I never even thought about that part. He looks exactly like Rob
Two
Lowe.
Phils?
Two Phils.
Like the same human
Two
being.
Phils.
And lastly, I found out reasons to wear beards. Warmth. That goes way back to, caveman days. To appear more masculine.
Wait, can I ask the warmth? Is that true? You guys both have beards. I can't grow a beard.
In
That's
the,
why I
in
don't
the
have a
wintertime,
beard.
it's a big difference.
It really does help?
Big difference, yeah, for sure.
Keeps you toasty?
Scarf of the
And
chin.
more than having a bare face when that wind starts whipping. You can feel the difference.
Really? Yeah. All right.
It's less time consuming. You don't have to shave every couple days if you have a beard.
It's very fair.
And and another thing, camouflage, like what you guys were saying, to cover a skin condition or acne or
scabies.
Yeah.
Herpes.
Oh, to cover up. Yeah.
And beards don't cover cold sores.
And also, people will also grow beards after breakups a lot for some reason. So.
Is that true?
Yeah, this is mine.
Got the V for Vendetta coming in.
Broke up 9 months ago.
Could you grow a beard if you want? I could not.
I can only grow here, so it looks like I'm trying to do something intentional.
I don't see any.
Nothing.
Turner started growing one, then I think his wife made him shave, but he can grow one. He says he can't.
No.
But I'm looking at the follicles.
No, it's so wispy though. It looks real pedophile.
Is it like those Asian beards, like Confucius?
Yeah, it's basically I'm Confucius in white form. It's like six. First of all, it's like Cletus the Slackjawed Yokel from Simpsons. It's like 6 things here, and then like patchy everywhere else. So
You have what I don't have, and I have what you don't have.
we're both half a man.
Together,
and
together we
then
equal
me
one
and
man.
Joe-
One
Me
full
and
grown
Joe, the
adult.
muscle, the only 2 real men in here.
That's right.
So you bitches got low T.
I need you guys to walk me to the train after this.
Did you say it's been 9 months since your breakup?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, look at that! Because the special came out like 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
you always assume the special was recorded like this. We're like 3 weeks old on the breakup, but obviously,
Yeah, it was.
Oh, you're doing fine. What are we even talking about it for? Cut the whole first
We
half of
canceled
the
therapy.
episode. All right, that's it, everybody. Patreon subscribers, stick around. After the music, we got more bonus show for you. Everybody else, patreon.com/blackandwhiteadvice. And everyone, May 22nd, we will see you at New York Comedy Club. Get your tickets now. That's it.
Stay black.
Stay black.
You've got a question, but you're scared to ask. Just drop the boys a message, 'cause they're up